Call this regular meeting of the Newton County Board of Commissioners, May 7th, 2013 meeting to order. Welcome, fellow commissioners, family and friends. We appreciate the general public that's come tonight to be with us. We've got several guests. We appreciate their presence. We would remind you to silence your cell phones at this time. Here's a thought for the day. Men are born to succeed, not to fail. Henry David Thoreau. Reverend Ronnie Brannon from Prospect United Methodist Church will deliver our invocation.
Chairman, Commissioners, all, it's a pleasure to be with you again. And if I might take a moment, when you look at that saying that you had about success, we had a bittersweet time this past week as we acknowledged the retirement of one of our own after almost 25 years of service. I appreciate so many of you being there, and I think that showed a great aspect of success, because success is not about how much money we make. Success is not about all those things. Success many times is about a legacy we leave, and in Tommy Haley, we've got a very successful career and a successful life, and what a blessing he's been to this community. And so in all of that, that success is not over. It just changed shape and form. And so I want to thank y'all for your sacrifice and your hard work for helping make this county to be as successful as it is. So let's pray together. Father, we do thank you. We thank you that you have called us to succeed. You want our lives to be successful. And we know that's measured in so many different ways, but the most important way is in being obedient unto you. Because, Father, when we are obedient unto you, we become the blessing you want us to be, and we become the blessing to the community you call us to be. I thank you for these who serve so diligently here. I thank you for those who are out on the roads tonight. May their nights and their evenings be successful. May they be calm and quiet. But, Father, guard and protect and use them as ministers throughout this community. Keep them safe. And I thank you for all of our public officials who serve in so many ways. And, Father, we just thank you for the great place you give us. Grant us your wisdom tonight and your direction that we might succeed in bringing your kingdom to come. For we ask it in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Reverend. We appreciate your presence tonight. We have a couple of mayors among us tonight. We appreciate them being here with us from two of our fine towns. I'm going to read a letter from the Mansfield mayor. Astana Middlebrooks is, Your Honor, is with us tonight. She's going to lead our pledge, but before she comes to do that, I was going to read a letter from her to us dated May the 3rd, 2013. On behalf of the city of Mansfield and our affected citizens, we would like to take this opportunity to express our gratitude for your assistance with the cleanup after the tornado. As you know, we're a very small community. We could not have been as far along in the cleanup process as we are without the help of your devoted personnel and equipment. We are sincerely humbled by the spirit of the community that was shown to Mansfield throughout our disaster. Please continue to pray for our families, community, and country. Sincerely, Astana Middlebrooks. Astana, we'd appreciate it if you'd come and speak to us a moment and then lead us in the pledge.
Well, I just want to say publicly again, sorry for the tears, it kind of touches home, but thank you. We couldn't be where we are without the help of the county sheriff, the public works, the city of New Bern, city of Covington. We had so many people that came out to help. So thank you. We are pretty much 85 to 90% cleaned up. We're going to have one more day of help from the county, and I think we'll be back to as normal as we can be. So thank you.
Well, we appreciate it, and I understand you've cut the grass at the community center.
Yes.
So we'll just call it even for whatever we did for you. We appreciate y'all taking care of that while we're getting our loan contract.
That's pretty cheap. Do you need anything else done?
We'll see. All right, well, let's all stand as you lead us in the pledge.
Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, can I say something about that as well?
Absolutely, Commissioner. Go right ahead. That's your district. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and Mayor Middlebrooks and Mayor Sheridan. Let me just add to what you said, Astana, about it was truly a well-oiled machine that showed up in Mansfield that afternoon, that Friday afternoon, and I have been in office for since 1998. And during my time, particularly in the legislature, we had tornadoes in Henry County that were pretty serious. We had tornadoes in Walton County and here in Newton County. But out of all the storms that I've had to work through, and downtown Atlanta during the SEC tournament that year, we were down there when that happened. All the storms I've seen, I've never seen such a well-oiled machine come together and work with the people so resilient and strong as the people of Mansfield. And I get emotional about it too. Because it's such Mansfield and New Bern are such, they're the epitome of Norman Rockwell America. And so it's such an honor for me to represent them, and it was so great to see everybody, the utility workers from outside, from Monroe, we have to give them credit, that came down to help out. So Mansfield is going to be fine. Mansfield and New Bern are both tough folks, and they can take it, and they'll be better than ever. So, but part of that goes to the quality of leadership that both cities have, both towns have. And so I want to salute both of you, because you had your own tornado a couple of years ago, Roger. You know, blew every tree in New Bern down, it looked like.
We missed that 2-year deal by 1 week.
Yeah, so both of you know what we're talking about, and both of you make us all proud here in Newton County, and we appreciate you, all your hard work. And so let me just say thank you for letting me represent you, and it's a great honor and privilege. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You're welcome, and we did have a lot of just folks from outside of the town who came and volunteered with equipment and container boxes, so there were a lot of people who helped out. We hope and do pray that everything goes well. And so we have the most attractive mayor here. We'll see the oldest mayor in the United States here shortly. Before we do have some reports for some people. We are glad to have the Chamber of Commerce. They're going to introduce some new staff members today and give us an update. I believe Hunter Hall is going to introduce Courtney Bernardi and James Johnson to us.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. It's a privilege for us to be able to come and spend a little time and give you an update on what's going on, and most importantly, introduce two new faces to you. Courtney Bernardi is our new VP of Economic Development on the recruiting side of the house, and Mr. James Johnson is on our existing industry and workforce development. And we're privileged to have them. I will give a quick little bio, and then I want them to say a few words. Courtney comes to us from Jackson County, up I-85, Chateau Elan to Commerce. And we've followed Courtney for some time, primarily because we were always competing with her and her county on economic development projects. And we got tired of losing to her, and so we went and got her. And most recently, a pharmaceutical company that we recruited after the Baxter deal ended up there, and we said enough's enough. And so when you get beat, you go find out who's beating you and you bring them in. And so that's how Courtney has come to us in part. And then Mr. Johnson is a 17-year native of Newton County, spent the last 13 years with Georgia Piedmont Technical College. And so from a workforce piece and an existing industry piece, what he's doing with us, he's been doing for years. And we had the opportunity to bring in a player who can bring instant impact. And what I want you to see more than anything tonight is a team. And they can talk to that, but you've got a great team working on behalf of this county to promote the community, to recruit and retain that which provides our tax digest and so many jobs for our community. That being said, Courtney, introduce.
Absolutely. Thank you, Hunter, and thank you to all of you for having us here tonight and allowing James and I just a minute to introduce ourselves to you all. Thank you for doing what you do, and we look forward to our partnership. But Hunter asked me, I guess probably a couple of weeks ago, and I've had some time to think about it, but what makes Covington-Newton County stand out? What is it that you see in us and made you want to come and be a part of this team? And one of the most important things that really rang true to me about this community really was seen by the leadership and the team that's there, the Leadership Collaborative, the creation of the 2050 plan, the progressive thinking of this community, the willingness to get down in the dirt, to grow, to build, to succeed. I think we just heard a little bit about that. With the tornado cleanup, there was no second thought. The community came together to do what they needed to do. That says a lot about this community, and not many communities could say that. So I'm excited and thrilled to be here, to be a part of this team. And if there's ever anything that James and I can do for you, please know that all our office doors are open. It's your Office of Economic Development. We're there doing the daily groundwork, but we want anything and everything that we do to be a part of it as well for you as well as us. So thank you, and I appreciate it.
Good evening. My name is James Johnson. I just want to say thank you as well for me to be able to participate and stand here today. Yes, I left a job after 13 years, and I've been asked everywhere I go the last couple of weeks is, why did you leave GPTC? Well, why did I join GPTC? But first of all, I had a passion for Newton County, and I retired from the United States Army 17 years ago when I moved to Newton County. And from day one, I got involved in Newton County, and I wanted to see a greater Newton County. I want to see an educated Newton County, so that's why I got involved. So that's why I went to the secondary level. So at the secondary level, I had opportunity to be able to help people because my passion is all about helping. And after being there for a while, I had the opportunity to be able to come over here to the chamber. I was asked to come to the chamber, and I asked to come to the chamber as well. And once I did that, I said, you know what, the reason why I'm coming here because I'm passionate about Newton County. I want to see Newton County grow. I want to see Newton County have some wonderful things because I have grandchildren here, I have children who graduated from high school here. So I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be part of a team, and Courtney and I are going to hopefully do a wonderful job for you. Again, thank you, and I appreciate everything for you, that you would support us. Thanks very much.
What I want to do is pass out. Oh, do you have questions? I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to thank you for his military service as well as the service to Newton County.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. I'm going to pass these out. What I want to do tonight, I know we typically give you an update on both countywide as well as what we're seeing trending in terms of economic development movements. What you have in your packet is a little overview on the left side is kind of a piece that Courtney put together in conjunction with James on the importance of workforce development. A lot of communities, especially in our region, we are probably the only community. In fact, I'm confident in this region, we're the only community that has both a recruiting arm of economic development and a retention arm. And I want to explain why in just a second. But the reason that Courtney and James are both here is because they are a team. And I want to drive that point home, real important. That is a very concentrated effort and strategy on our part, is because when we entertain prospects that are coming to Newton County, to have James Johnson, one who is totally focused with 13 years history on workforce development and training skill sets for industry, we believe, hands down, it is a differentiator when we compete with other communities. That is why, even as these slides go across here, that is why the state saw it so critical that a training center come in and complement the Baxter Project, is to fill a workforce need that we as a local community and a region have to fill. And so just know that is the team effort, and it will always be presented that way from workforce and recruiting. What I want to hit real quickly on the first page on the right side is I just want to let you know here's where we're going. All right, here's where the team is. When you were saying, hey, what is Courtney and James doing? Here's where they're at. The first quarter, the first 5 items, these are things that we've been doing while we've been recruiting them and onboarding them. These things, we never missed a beat on the ED side. We moved to the center next door. I do want you to hold the date, May 21st. We will have our ribbon cutting for our new Office of Economic Development, your new Office of Economic Development, with a jam-up, beautiful multimedia room that will stand out with prospects. And I'll save the eye candy show for when you come on the 21st. That's going to be 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So you'll get an invitation on that. We've clearly defined James's job description as it pertains to workforce, and he was hired based on that. We have been working actually since last year on a virtual plan for the Covington Commerce Park. That's the property right there at the Church of Covington, the IDA property that we are working with Triple Horse on that site. And so it's going to put us in a position to be out of dirt. And I'll talk to you more about that in a second. We're continuing to work the red carpet dinner. I think I've talked to many of y'all about that in terms of our focus on executive recruitment to this community. Very successful. Really fun stories. I'll save you. We can go one-on-one if you want to hear about those. But folks are moving, locating, buying houses, and they're appraising. So that is good news for banks and contractors. And then lastly, continued touch points with our 4 targets and our target industries. It goes back to our target industry study that y'all helped fund with the city and the chamber and the IDA. So anyway, just know those are in process. We're continuing to work those. Here's what I want to focus on in regards to what is Courtney Bernardi doing? What's she spending her time? First is she's continuing to show available properties that we do have. I will tell you this, we are really, really low on industrial properties to be able to show. Take what we hear on the housing market in Newton County, that there are just not very many houses. In fact, we pulled the numbers the other day for a Baxter relo, and out of all the homes in Newton County between $200,000 and $350,000, there was only 36 available houses in the entire county. That might sound like a lot, it's not. And hardly zero new construction. And so from that standpoint, we have a huge, huge demand issue on housing. The same is true on industrial property. We have 2 buildings left in Lock Ridge. One's a multi-tenant and one's a bigger space. That's not much to show. We have very little space. I was even talking to Buddy when we were coming in. Buddy's been showing buildings left and right. He's got there's demand. Here's the problem that we're running into. You can't show something, you can't recruit if it doesn't exist. And so that's top of our list. You see it number 2 with Courtney, is proactively recruit private industrial developers, brokers, and agents. One of the things that stood out to us about Courtney and why we asked her to consider this position is in Jackson County, there were 10 private industrial parks. There were 10 Lock Ridge. There currently are 2 million square foot of available warehouse space sitting spec. There's 3,000 acres of zoned industrial park in Jackson County. And so when a company is looking to redevelop or looking to relocate or expand, when you have space like that that is readily available on interstate, that's why Jackson County got so many looks, in part. In part was Courtney's leadership there. But that's an issue, and why we wanted Courtney to come is to help bring those relationships to Newton County. Help broker those kind of relationships that we could open up new private industrial parks in Newton County. Third is to continue to market Stanton Springs. And then 4th is to continue to get our feet wet and strategize with workforce development. I say that because most people like Courtney's position in Jackson County, she did it all. She did recruitment, she did existing industry, she did workforce. And this team concept is a different strategy, it's a different animal, and make sure she gets her arms around it. They're doing great, no concerns. As far as James, what is James doing as he spends his getting up? First, it is his responsibility to get out and meet every existing industry that's out there, every single one, every plant manager, every HR manager, and see what's going on. What do we need to do to make business successful for you? Second, establish relationships with the K-12 and post-secondary leaders. He's already done that, already has that relationship. We're just changing hats for him. Third, understand the value of workforce and its impact on recruitment. Seeing that from Courtney's standpoint. Let me tell you why that's important. I've said this before, but I want to repeat it. The Baxter project was Shannon Davis's project. And that was by Baxter's recommendation, that when they came, they said they don't want any new faces. So Shannon, coming out of the existing industry seat, carried and led that project all the way through on all things related to our responsibilities. You have an existing industry person who recruited the largest project that we've ever seen. And so they have to be able to work off each other's plates because they bring those skill sets together. So that's why James has to understand her world. And last is identify effective partners and programs to equip the currently unemployed. We are sitting at 9.4 unemployment rate. I've made it real clear to James, hey, listen, you prioritize the industry that's here and the workforce that they need to fill their holes, but also keep open our unemployment. The workforce summit that we had, Mr. Lotman said the best thing Newton County has going for it is high unemployment rate. We all about fell out of our seat. What are you talking about? He said by the time those baby boomers begin to exit, you will not have enough workforce to be able to fill the vacancies. You have to have an unemployment base to be able to train and equip from. So that's the fourth on James's list. Now, let me switch over on the second page right behind that. I want to, again, reemphasize team and explain why and look at hard numbers. For the sake of apples to apples comparison, I took the Baxter project out of this. The first three, what I want to talk about is the existing industry and what we've seen byproduct of our existing industry and their growth. SKC and Bridgestone and Nishimbo, all three industries that expanded over the last 2 years. You see the net capital investment that those companies contributed or will contribute to our Newton County Tax Digest, $108 million. Jobs created, 190. Now, slide down to new recruitment. That was all Shannon Davis' side of the house. That's all James Johnson's responsibility. And as far as new recruitment, Vestar, Stamp Tech, and Amesbury, all three companies that announced in the last 2 years. Total capital investment, $33,500,000, 1/3 of what existing industry invested. Job creation, 220, just a clip above what existing industry grew. So I share that with you because oftentimes we think, new recruitment, we need new, and we do. That's continue to raise the tide. But our existing industry is so valuable, and they produce from a capital investment much more substantial income to the Tax Digest than even the new. I took Baxter out so we see apples to apples on a project of that scale. So anyway, just wanted to add that. I won't go over the next sheet. The next sheet is a little insert we did with SKC some years ago, back in 2011, to help you understand primary and secondary jobs and why the recruitment is so critical. The last thing I want to address very briefly, and then I'll open up for some Q&A. The last two pieces of paper in here, hopefully y'all have all been to our new GoCovington.com, the tourism website that is launched. This first little email simply notes, previous to the new website launch, for the month of March, we had 315 page views for the entire month. That was the old Go Covington website. The new Go Covington website is seen on this analytic report. And if you see highlighted in terms of page view, this is for the first week of April. Just 1 week of April. Total page views is 1,933. So if you take that on a monthly basis, you have just under 6,000 page views for the GoCovington.com versus 315 just a month previous. So that has been great. That is a total tourism driver. Although the site is Go Covington, it is a county-wide site. We have all our parks and rec. We have our golf courses. We have all kinds of visitor information on that. But just want you to know that is very much economic development. Our tourism numbers are double, almost triple any other community in our Region 5. Staggering number. So anyway, I'll be quiet. Any Q&A that I can address, or James and Courtney will be happy to.
Any questions, commissioners? Commissioner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a quick comment. From my perspective and my eyes, new on the board, I want to tell you I applaud the efforts your team is doing. I think it's been incredible. I say that hopefully for District 5, certainly for me, my kids. Some of these numbers are just incredible, I applaud your efforts. The board, I believe, has heard my opinion, and I'm certainly making a big push to figure out a way to better support your efforts and your team's efforts. So please pass that along to them and applaud.
Will do. Thank you. It is a great team effort, and y'all are part of that, by the way. Y'all know that, I hope.
Commissioner?
Well, I was on the board, and Commissioner Henderson was on the board when we brought you on board. And the turnaround that we've seen in this time period is remarkable. And I want to commend you, and I want to commend your staff. I want to commend Shannon and Roger, because they were a great team. And I know that we're going to have a great team going forward with Courtney and James, but it's just very heartwarming to see all the progress that has been made in reasonably a short amount of time. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Others? Commissioner?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Got one more thing, Hunter. I want to make sure I tell everybody, over the last, 4, 5, 6 months, 8 months, I've kind of been on that listening tour and learning and the learning curve. And at least from my view, I've tossed you some pretty tough questions from time to time. Some of that was seeking education. Some of that was just trying to figure out where you or the chamber was. And I certainly appreciate those quick responses. I know you had to set some time aside. So again, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Others? Thank you, Commissioners. Thank you, Hunter.
Let me simply say, I've said it before, we are your Office of Economic Development. We work in concert with you, the City of Covington, our utility partners, and we thank you for your partnership. Without it, we're nothing. So, thank you very much.
We appreciate the report. Our next report will be the Main Street Quarterly Update. Ms. Josephine Kelly, we appreciate you being here tonight as well.
Good evening. It's a pleasure to be here. We have the pleasure of often being noted throughout the state for the commitment from the Commission to the downtown district. You're quite unique in how you've invested in this district and created a sustainable model for downtown development, so thank you for that. This evening, Sarah, who is the County Commission, Sarah Phillips, the County Commission rep, is out of state, and so Pat Kavanagh will be delivering the report. But before we go into that, I just want to invite you to an event that we've got. It's Historic Preservation Month, and we have a special session called Making Historic Preservation Work, Using a Community's Historic Assets to Promote Economic Development. So while you're at the centre on the 21st, just stick around because we get going at 5 o'clock with that. And we've brought representatives in from the state. We've got Lee Burns here from the State Historic Preservation Office, Carmen Fischetti from the Office of Downtown Development, Downtown Design Studio, and Rebecca Klein from the Georgia Department of Economic Development. So we've got a good team to be talking on that. And I'll turn it over to Pat to do the report, and I'll sort of stand here and back him up.
Welcome, Pat.
Mr. Chairman and Mr. County Manager, Commissioners, how are you? Ms. County Clerk, how are you? I'd like a favor, Mr. Chairman, before I start this. The next time that I have this opportunity to come, can I go after Hunter? Because I told my wife I was going to be home early.
Well,
so if you don't mind, okay, I appreciate that, okay?
And I wanted to point out, if you'll go to the Covington News website, you might be able to watch this and see yourself on
That's why I should wave.
Yeah.
Well, no, I forgot to wear my makeup tonight. I'm sorry. But anyhow, you guys have in front of you a report. I'm going to hit some of the highlights, and then if there's any questions, I'm sure Josephine can answer better than I can while she's standing here. The top part is statistics, and I'll let you look through those. One of the things that's happened over the last quarter and a little over a quarter is the office moved from the chamber building to the planning and zoning office, and that's worked out really well with the city. It's opened up a lot more doors. It's allowed Josephine to interact with officials dealing with this program, so that's been a very positive move for the Main Street program. And I can tell you, before I start on this, the Main Street program is in great shape and is strongly run, due mostly in part to the efforts of our director, Josephine Kelly. So we're really pleased as a board to work with her and see her desire and her passion on a weekly basis. So we're really proud that we just were reaccredited by the National Main Street Program for 2013. And there are some points down there that we had to follow, and we exceeded those points to be accredited. And that's not an easy thing to do. This is a national program, and you really have to toe the line when you deal with them. So we're really proud of that, and I think that does the community proud to be able to have a legitimate national Main Street program again. Josephine completed the Center for Nonprofit Certification in Nonprofit Management. The Main Street Board held its annual spring retreat, and it turned out to be a really positive one. Some of the points that the board has decided to pursue and one of them is to increase current economic development program focus, streamline and reduce our current event list to encourage more economic development focus, implement board members chairing committees and getting them more involved, create an ambassador program, which I think can be very beneficial and can include some of the young people in our community and get them started early in volunteerism, conduct a historic resource survey, and work on volunteer development. So those are some major focuses of the board retreat, and that, again, it was a very positive retreat. Also, the Main Street Chair, the Director, Josephine Kelly, and council members, City Council members Janet Goodman and Hanithia Williams attended the annual Department of Community Affairs Georgia Main Street Luncheon and Mayor's Day on January 28th. And our Director, Chair, wrote a special story that you guys, I'm sure, read. It was in your association newsletter, spotlight on key issues impacting Georgia downtowns, which was a very good read. On economic development, on the business expansions, the Candlelight Bridal by Gigi and Alterations is moved uptown, across from the chamber. It deals with apparel, and I'm not sure anybody here needs that, but a lot of people in town do, apparently. United Business Services moved here. It was a business service. And the Dizzy Dame apparel shop. Now, Mother's Day is coming up. In case anybody forgot about their mom or their wife, you might want to stop down and see these folks, okay? So they've gotten there. Prospects, we have 3 active, 2 food and dining and 1 retail, 2 conceptual, 1 retail service, 1 food and dining. We think that's a positive to have that much interest in especially food and dining in the Main Street, Main Square area. We also worked with 2 other prospects in the first quarter. 1 remained in its current location and the other located outside the district. Available properties in the downtown district right now, there are 2 for sale, 5 properties available for lease, and 3 office suites available at the current time. On business retention, assistance given to 2 businesses for staffing, referrals given to businesses for new product lines, information and resources forwarded to downtown businesses from the University of Georgia Small Business Development Center. On promotion, the Dine Local, Shop Local, Be Local in downtown Covington dining and shopping brochure designed and printed. With assistance from the City of Covington's Geographic Imaging System, staff's map of the downtown business district was produced for display in the downtown Covington outdoor notice board. Black History Month program was featured in February, and the 2013 Taste of Downtown Covington just happened a week ago. On beautification, and I think this was a pure example of people helping themselves and understanding and saving and not necessarily going to the well for tax money. One of our board members, Andrea Smith, launched an initiative in partnership with the Mayfield Hardware to upgrade the business owners' planners in the downtown district. They did that on their own, and it was a great success if you walk around downtown. Traffic Island Square Park, given the new topsoil and new irrigation system, is installed, and there's going to be some spring and summer plantings. So that's basically our report, Mr. Chairman. If there's any questions, we will be glad to answer them.
Commissioners, y'all have any questions? Commissioner Schultz.
I don't have a question. I do have a comment. Pat, just
Yes,
for your
ma'am.
reference, I recently visited Candlelight Bridals by Gigi because my son is getting married in
Good.
August, and I was very pleased to order a dress from there
Great.
and not have to drive all the way to Atlanta. It's a beautiful space.
Yeah.
But I also wanted everyone to know that I really appreciate Josephine as well as Clara Deemer, because during the Masters Week, that's a very busy week for us in the golf business, and we had well over 300 people from out of state, from all over the world actually, and Josephine and Clara Deemer came and staffed a booth for us all day to tell all about Newton County. And that's a commitment on a weekend, that they would tell all about Newton County and the places to eat and the places to shop and be good ambassadors for us in our community. So I'm not sure how many people knew that.
Well, that's why we're proud of our chair and director. And Nancy, congratulations. I'm glad you're glad that's over. Yeah, that's even better. That's the best part, Mr. Chairman.
I thought that was your son getting married. Why are you buying the dress? I thought that was... Okay, all right. Oh, yours, I guess.
Well,
Commissioner.
it's actually my daughter that's getting married. And she's been there also. And had a dress. She bought a dress somewhere and had it fitted and altered there.
That's great.
Just a couple of weeks ago. So you can tell in the corner of the commission business.
Well, then you guys, that's, wow,
And I think it
great.
says something about the acumen of that business owner. She is one of the only bridal shops that now exists within a 7-county region. So we're very proud of her efforts and the fact that we're seeing an expansion in the business. So, and thank you for patronizing it.
Well, my daughter was very pleased, and that's something to say just in itself, that she was very pleased. I haven't been able to do that for many years, but she was very pleased.
Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I also just wanted to add that one of my sons is a junior at Eastside High School, and here a while back they did the junior senior prom. We went over and rented a tux for him to wear to his junior prom, junior senior prom. And so, yes, it's a good business. In fact, she was in transition from moving beside the little store to over there, right across from the Welcome Center.
I'm going to have to make sure we don't mention her again. That's taking all that advertising from my paper now. So, I'm sorry I mentioned her name now. I'm just teasing. That's great.
Commissioner Sims, your turn for a commercial. Go ahead.
Well, first, I'm not getting married. I don't have anybody getting married, so this won't be a commercial, but we need a baby shop. So.
And she does stock baby wear, so there we go.
But what I want to say is I just want to say thank you to Main Street Covington. Over the last 3 years, I've put on probably about 9 events on the square, and never did any events. Josephine took me by the hand, walked me through, and just made the whole process very easy. Main Street has just been very easy to work with. The downtown vendors have been very easy to work with. The restaurants. It's just been a very easy process from a promoter trying to have an event downtown. So thank you.
Others.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, by the way, I do want to, before I forget, one of our commissioners has a daughter that turned 16 today. Wish her a happy birthday from all the commissioners. Thank you both for being here tonight.
Mr. Chair, thank you, and thanks for you guys' support. It's very important and goes along with the chamber that we have great programs like this in our community. So
thanks for the report. Now it's going to be my honor to provide something for someone in our community who we celebrated with last Friday. I did not know that this proclamation was not provided. Rick Jeffries, see if I can hold this thing up so some of you can see. Rick Jeffries has provided a proclamation for one of our own, Tommy Haley. If you and Holly would come maybe up to the front. There's so many things on here recognition-wise that I can't even imagine reading it all, but I'm sure it's going to be very meaningful for y'all. But I'm going to read just a couple of excerpts and then the last paragraph for you. So bear in mind, I believe Rick's one of your old friends.
I've been knowing Rick since he was that tall.
There you go.
Yeah,
okay.
Great guy.
So recognizing and commending Tommy Haley on the occasion of his retirement and for other purposes. It talks about 24 years of service. It talks about you and your wife being married, Holly, for 41 years. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
400 sports tournaments, 15 baseball and softball tournaments, Dixie World Series. I'm just hitting the high points. It's amazing how many accolades, Tommy, you and your staff have gotten over the years. I believe the last two paragraphs, folks probably won't hear this. Whereas his hobbies are best described as golf, and more golf. I believe you got a set of golf clubs the other day that were very nice. Now, therefore, it be resolved that Tommy Haley be commended for his efficient, effective, unselfish, and dedicated service to the state of Georgia, congratulated on the grand occasion of his retirement, and extended the most sincere best wishes for continued health and happiness. So resolved this 30th day of April of 2013, and it's signed the Honorable Rick Jeffries, Senator, District 17. I don't know, do we have a camera or anything? We got one. Okay, who's going to be the photographer? Commissioners, why don't we all get in this picture? Would that be good? I think that would be good.
Tammy, take it.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Get a little closer so you can see the state capitol. Very nice. I know this will be me.
Do we need a scooch?
Not gonna work? Put us at a different place then.
I think I can
Camera's pointing the other way.
I just want to say thank you for all your support throughout the years, and say thank you to the Recreation Commission for their support, and thank her for 41 years, and many nights that I would take phone calls. She'd have such a listen to me complain about stuff like that, but that went along with the job. But more importantly, I just want to say thank you to my staff and to the people of Newton County for having confidence in me to do the job for so long. Thank you.
Thank you. I did want to mention a couple other things. This week, we also did two other proclamations. One was for Mental Health Awareness Month, and the other one was for Older Americans Month, and we did a mayor chairman walk, and my feet are a little tired still. We walked from the courthouse all the way to the rec center, and a lot of kids came from Peachtree Academy, as well as a lot of older Americans that were celebrating Older Americans Month. Also, Commissioners, I wanted to let you know that we're going to give you updates on the Industrial Development Authority as well as the Joint Development Authority. Soon you'll be provided with approved minutes from each meeting. We'll just email those to you as we're going paperless, as you probably know, very soon. All right, and the County Manager's report.
County Manager's report is still on paper. I just want to give you all a quick reminder. The County Employee Appreciation Picnic is scheduled to be held at the Administration Building and on the grassy knoll next to it on May the 17th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Be catered by the FFA camp staff. We're having hamburgers, hot dogs, some chicken patties, and if you're health conscious like myself, some veggie burgers will also be served. Okay. The County Employee Recognition Day, I believe, is still scheduled for the 19th. We have about 90 employees that will be recognized on the square for their 15 years or more of service to Newton County. So if you can make that, I believe that starts at 10 o'clock that Sunday morning, runs on through the day. So. But anyway, please make your plans there to join us. Anyone that has
lack of things to do on Monday night, May the 13th, 7 p.m. Please be sure to come join us for our budget work session, be held at the Nelson Heights Community Center. Commissioner Henderson will be hosting that. And last but not least, just to give you a heads up, they held the Public Works Rodeo this past weekend, the Rodeo, as it's pronounced, in Dublin, Georgia, on Saturday, May the 4th. It's sponsored by the Solid Waste Association of North America. We had two folks from the landfill, Mr. Richard Bradshaw, who took second place in the off-road truck event. This is statewide in 159 counties. And Gabriel Mathis, some of you may better know him as Pee-wee, and won third place in the roll-off truck event. These guys will be getting their plaques in a couple weeks, and they'll be coming to see you to show you what they got. But we're real proud of them. They did a great job of representing Newton County. So that's all I have.
Thank you. Time for citizen comments. If you'd like to make a comment, please come forward now, and we'll give you 3 minutes. If you'll tell us your name, be fine. Tell us your name and your address, if you don't mind, and you'll have 3 minutes to make your comment.
Good evening, y'all. My name is Mike Gorski. I live out in New Bern, and I'm here to speak about my concerns that I have about that Almond Road district and some of the ordinance that are involved in it. I've been in the construction industry for 30 years, and I've hung many different sidings, vinyl, hardy, cedar, pine, wood shakes, all along the Jersey Shore, up in New Jersey, where that's the test of the products. And the most successful product that's ever been up there is vinyl siding. And because they do inspections on sidings, they enforce their enforcement codes with sheathings and stuff. I had come down here 18 years ago, and because I had lived here in the early 80s. And when I came back in, they're using this vinyl siding. And I had spoken with the builders. I had spoken with the building inspector to hang this stuff right, to install it right. The first step is to have OSB sheathing behind it. They didn't want to listen. I said, the second thing is, don't let them use air guns on it. And they kept on putting up this blue board, this yellow board, this black board, and it's absolutely impossible to install it right over it. I made other recommendations with them for all your soffits and cornice. Nobody wanted to listen. When they came out with the OSB, I mean the hardy plank side and the fiber cement. Now I'm talking about the industry, see, because we're going to have products, but let's get it right. And when they started coming out with all this fiber cement, I told them, you have to have OSB behind it. Because they're using guns. They didn't have, and then they came out with the moisture barrier on top of everything else. You couldn't find studs to install this stuff on. And I have, if you would like all this hardy plank that I'm concerned about, is the installations of this now, as they go on all over the county. It's improperly installed. I tried saying stuff, this is going to be another Louisiana-specific thing waiting to happen. And I'm sorry, I didn't have it. I've been in the hospital this morning with kidney stones. But in that packet that I had given you to show, and I'm not trying to start nothing, is you'll see a picture there. Turn the pages and there's a picture of a home just recently built. And there's a circle line where it's going up these roof lines. And if you look at the instructions, it says to keep it up off of these roof lines 1 to 2 inches. They're not listening to that. A lot of them are going, and these are just recently built homes. They're not listening to the OSB factor. A brand-new subdivision out on Alman Road is being installed wrong. It's starting to fall off. They're not even putting gutters out there. And all I would like to ask is if we can set up a meeting between planning and zoning, the building inspectors, the president of the homeowners association, and y'all, and to get this thing right, because you could put gold on these houses. And this system that we have, and it's not only Newton County, it's all the other surrounding counties. Product after product after product they have problems with. And I only brought up that roof thing now is because that's a major concern.
We appreciate you coming up. Thank you very much.
And the cost effect is what I like to do the study on, because when the vinyl is eliminated, the cost of every homeowner to have the hardy plank installed is going to be astronomical. And that's where I'm concerned with the remodeling end of this ordinance.
Thank you. Anyone else? Please state your name and your address.
Thomas Butner, 650 Fleta Drive. You know, for 2 years or maybe longer, I stayed on Kathy Morgan, and the ones that got reelected know what I'm talking about getting them stop signs took down on that railroad track over here. You know, and I've asked y'all about it. Y'all said, you're going to get it done. We're going to get it done. Well, I see they're still there. Newbern got them down. There was no trouble. City of Covington got them down. Well, why can't the county get them down? All they got to do is take a chainsaw down there and cut them down.
Someone else. If you'll, Mr. Neely, if you'll wait right over here, we'll get you next, right over here. Please state your name and your address.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, for allowing me to speak. My name is Esther Porter. I live at 1111 Summit Circle in Watkinsville, Georgia. I'm a co-owner of American Building Products. My husband and I own this. We've been in business 15 years, and we have a location here in Covington, Georgia. I'm speaking tonight on the issue about the overlay, where they have banned vinyl siding. Concerns me greatly. He's brought up a point. My point is I've been in this business 41 years. I've been a manufacturer's rep. I've covered the Southeast regional manager. So I'm very familiar with products and its installation. Vinyl siding is proved to be one of the most durable products in the North. Now, I know this is not the North, but the weather conditions there and everything have proved how durable it is. Well, one of the reasons, as he brought out, is the inspections that they have. Most vinyl sidings have a lifetime warranty, labor and material. They have hail warranty, they have weathering conditions. The products that y'all have approved for this overlay district, what warranty do they have? Vinyl is made up of 8 or 9 different ingredients. It's just like other products. If you don't use good quality products and ingredients in those products, you're not going to have a good product. And this is something that you have to think about in choosing products, is the type that you do. Rather than ban products, you should concentrate on speccing high-quality products. I don't think the people in charge has done enough research on the products that they're recommending to be banned. The vinyl industry has produced some products that's more durable, energy efficient than any fiber cement, and it's not hazardous to the installer. One of the products that they have come out with, David, show them. is an insulated product. It has insulation, it's more efficient, more durable. We also have insulation that you drop behind vinyl siding, because that's one of the complaints people talk about. Oh, you can push it. Well, they have more than that, and people have not looked at it. But this is not the only effects. It's not only affects the business, but it affects the homeowners more by not giving the homeowners a choice of a quality product. A home is the most expensive item a person will ever purchase, and the products they use affect them for years. I agree with restrictions on products, and the restriction should be to help the homeowners and builders be assured they're getting a good product by requiring and speccing good grade products, not banning products.
We appreciate your
Thank you.
Hear you. Thank you. Now to the business of the evening as the bell strikes 8. The approval of this is unfinished business, the approval of the Board of Commissioner minutes dated April 2nd, 2013. We had previously postponed this approval. Chair will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Those minutes are approved. Item number 8 on your agenda is from the Newton County Water and Sewer Authority. It is refinancing 2 outstanding bond issues with Morgan Keaton. They have asked us to postpone this issue until May the 21st. They had a difficult time scheduling. They weren't completely ready for us for tonight, so they asked if we would just postpone those, and they said they would completely redo all their mathematics and provide all that information for us ahead of time. So Chair would entertain a motion to postpone until May 21st.
So moved.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? It's postponed. Item number 9 is from Development Services. We tabled this. Actually, I think we postponed this last week. Video streaming, CGI Communications. And we've got Ms. Morgan coming to address this again, and she's provided you, commissioners, I believe you have something. She's provided you one sheet of paper.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me. You had asked me to get some prices for our merchants because there was a concern that possibly it would be too expensive for the merchants in our area to advertise on this particular product. So I believe Ms. Jackie's passed out a tiered package program that they provide. There's a bronze, silver, and gold. That is an option for the merchant. And basically, with your discretion, if you feel like this is acceptable, we can move forward. If you would like me to look at other vendors, I can do that as well. I just wanted to provide the information you asked for.
Commissioner Sims.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First of all, I want to say thank you for all your work and trying to move us forward into the media age. By looking at these numbers, this is almost an identical package that I saw probably a year or two ago with one of my customers, and they got very little benefit from this. And personally, I think it's having the videos would be great, but the way it's structured up for the business owners around here, I think it's really overpriced. They're not getting a lot of bang for their buck, and I would hate to have a video or a video portion of our site and have our local businesses suffering from trying to afford to be on our site. So it's my recommendation that we probably go back out and see if we can find someone else that can come in with better pricing that I guess is beneficial to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Other comments? Chair would entertain a motion. I would suggest we can either table this issue, go ahead and vote on this issue. We could postpone it indefinitely. Commissioner?
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion to table this indefinitely.
Okay. A motion and a second to table indefinitely. Any discussion? All in favor? That motion carries.
right,
Thank you.
Mr.
We're
Chairman.
going to, Commissioner Douglas, we appreciate the fact that we have the world's oldest mayor has made a request that we amend our agenda. We don't do this for just anybody. But go ahead, Commissioner.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to make a motion that we amend the agenda tonight to include a discussion and a vote on a motion as it concerns the voting precinct situation in the town of New Bern.
We have a motion and a second to amend the agenda. All in favor? Okay. We're going to amend the agenda. We're going to ask Mayor Roger Sheridan, also a retired Army, I believe, Army guy.
World War II, Mr.
World War
Chairman.
II veteran. We appreciate the wonderful towns that we have, and New Bern is a outstanding town, and we have the Honorable Roger Sheridan with us tonight, and we're going to say the world's oldest mayor, newly elected a couple of years ago. Welcome.
First, I'd like to thank the commissioners for listening to our cry for help. The cooperation with the commission has been wonderful, and we thank you very much. Our problem in New Bern, several years ago, or you might say several elections ago, we voted in the town hall. Now, we have a precinct vote, which is electronic, and then there is a town vote, which we don't know how it's going to vote. And the way it's set up now, we are disenfranchising some of our citizens from voting. The way it's set up now, well, let me go back. The way it was set up was that all of this would take place in one place. That was the town hall. And then for some reason, the electronic vote was taken to the Methodist Church in New Bern. We don't know how we're going to vote for the town election, which eliminates some of the precinct. The setup now is that early voting is taken care of in the administration building. If we don't do something to change this, there will be a requirement that a town vote be taken in the town hall and a precinct vote be taken in the Methodist Church. Now, with the, as I understand it, 3.3 turnout of voters in Newton County on the last election, I can't believe anybody is going to vote in two places on the same day. So we're disenfranchising these people. We're taking away their opportunity to vote. And we have to straighten that out. I don't think we're allowed to do that. We also have a 60-day period that has to be an approval period with the Department of Justice. And as I get older, time goes faster. All of a sudden, we're going to have election day and we're going to be in trouble. We have to do it now. And what we would like to do is sit down with the election committee and sort this out. We think that we could save money for the taxpayers by having one area of early voting, and that would be an administration building. On the voting itself, we would ask that the electronic vote be used for the precinct, and a paper ballot with a box be used for the citizens of New Bern. And they would know that from the voter list that they have. This would eliminate an additional cost, which would be of two people sitting for 2 weeks in the New Bern Town Hall doing absolutely nothing and being paid for it. And that's money out of the taxpayer's pocket, and we don't like it. Now, what we're asking, we've tried to have a meeting with the election board, and we have not been successful. We've come down to ask your help. Can you please ask the election board to sit down with us and let's sort this thing out in the next 30 days so that we're ahead of the schedule as far as the Department of Justice is concerned. Now, any questions?
Commissioner, would you like to make a motion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, let me make a motion, and then we can have the discussion. Commissioners and media have a motion in front of you that I'm just going to read the first few lines of it, and then you can follow on your page that you have. But my motion is that the Board of Commissioners direct the county manager to instruct the Newton County election supervisor or designated representative to contact and work with the mayor of New Bern, Georgia, to streamline voting opportunities in that city. And then you can see down to the bottom, we'd like to have an answer back to the county commission at our June 18th meeting because of the time constraints involved with the Justice Department and that sort of thing. So that's my motion, Mr. Chairman.
Motion, is there a second? Motion and a second. Commissioners, you're going to direct the county manager to instruct the Newton County election supervisor or designated representative to contact and work with the mayor of New Bern to streamline voting opportunities in that city. Are there any discussion?
Let me just make a couple of comments if I could, Mr. Chairman.
Absolutely.
Just to surmise what you said, Mr. Mayor, the problem right now is that when there are city and county, state, federal elections on the same day, right now somebody has to go to City Hall to vote in the city elections and then go across town to the Methodist Church to vote in the other elections.
That's right.
And I don't know of anywhere else in the world that we do that.
Well, that will happen in November if we don't get it straightened out.
Right. So what we're aiming to do here is to vote in one place or the other.
Right.
Methodist Church or the City Hall. It doesn't, the location doesn't matter as long as we can just be in one place. And we'd like for the election supervisor or her designated representative and your folks to sit down and work this out over the next month, and then somebody can come back to us in June and say, we're good to go.
Thank you very much. That's what we're asking.
Any other discussion? All in favor? That's a unanimous vote.
Thank you very much, and we appreciate the help we get from the county.
Thank you. On to new business. From the Finance Department, we need to approve several work session minutes. Work session minutes dated April 15th. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Motion to approve. Motion and a second. All in favor? Those minutes are approved. This is the approval of the Board of Commissioners work session minutes dated April 22nd. Do I entertain a motion? Motion and a second. All in favor? Those minutes are approved. This is item 11 from the County Clerk's Office. This is work session minutes dated April 16th. Entertain a motion. Motion and a second. All in favor? Getting these knocked out, that one's approved. Pages 4 through 8 of your board book. I'm sorry to go so fast. This is the Board of Commissioners meeting dated April 16th. Do I hear a motion? Motion and a second. All in favor? Those are approved. And we've got to do executive session minutes, which you've seen, I believe, and it's been passed around from April 16th. Need a motion? Motion and a second. All in favor? Got that one taken care of. In your board book, on page 9, you see from the Friends of Newton Parks, Chimney Park. We have Miss Jean Austin with us tonight. I had the privilege of teaching public school with her, and she has found a love in a park called Chimney Park. This is not to be confused with any trail system that's related near there, but this is for handicapped children, I believe, and she has a request, and she has one request tonight. She may have another request soon, but we're going to take care of at least part of her stuff tonight. Would you go ahead and just speak to it, and then I'll fill it in.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, for allowing me to speak with you this evening. As as our chairman said, my name is Jean Austin, and I'm representing Friends of Newton Parks. We manage a green space which is behind the Newton County Library on Floyd Street and behind Mental and Public Health. That green space, as he told you, is called Chimney Park. Okay. Let me tell you, you have a flyer that Ms. Smith gave you that gives you our mission statement and our vision for the park. Basically, what you need to know for your decision this evening is that we have a dream and a goal to build a park so that families with special needs children may enjoy the beauty of the outdoors. Okay? Saying that, we have a secondary goal to continue with that first goal and to create imagination and creativity in children. Okay? So saying that, we have 2 signature events at the park, and you may have attended one of them. One is Fairies at the Park. And Fairies at the Park is where you come to the park, family with especially small children, and you'll see dozens and dozens of fairy houses. Children may get fairy wings, they may paint rocks, they may hear stories, but all of this is, like we said, to create imagination in children, okay? We have a second event in the park, and that one is Twilights at the Park, and I hope you've been to that event. Last year we have well over 1,200 people at that event, and at that event we light up the park, and we have Christmas music and carolers. You may make s'mores over an open fire. We have hot dogs, popcorn, and at that event children get to see Santa Claus. And the most important thing you need to know is almost every civic organization in Covington participates in that particular event. Saying all of this, you need to know that, remember our primary goal, and that is to help children, families with children with special needs. At this present time, our events are held around the foundation of the old home, and we have no paved pathway for strollers and wheelchairs and walkers to get to that space. If you are a strong, brawny guy, you would have a difficult time pushing a stroller into that area because of the heavy mulch that we have on the ground and through there to control it's just the leaves and the trees and the things falling, and us also putting mulch in there to control growth, okay? So what I'm asking you this evening, you should have a second flyer there, is I'm asking you to allow us a pathway into our park. It would be on the south end of the mental health building, and that's what I'm asking for.
Commissioners, we emailed that out, and I think Commissioner Henderson, you have a hard copy of that. They had provided, that's right, if you remember getting this one, just as a reminder, we had 2 options, and we were able to talk with mental health as well as the health department, along with Ms. Austin. We were able to work out a compromise. They're going to, this will be on county property, but this will be money that's raised through Friends of the Park.
Right.
So the county won't have any obligations to that. But these children aren't able to get back there and access the park when they do have these events. And so we certainly want to support them. So we have both those boards, the mental health board as well as the health department board, have agreed to allow them to put this pathway in, I guess asphalt or concrete one,
right,
to allow them to get back there. So the chair would certainly recommend approval of this if I could entertain that motion now. So, okay, I don't know who the motion was. Okay,
doesn't matter.
Commissioner Douglas and Commissioner Schultz. All in favor? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
We'll attend to that other one maybe next time.
All right.
Let me
Absolutely. We get both comments. Hang on. Let's go right here first. Ladies first.
Yes.
I just want to say that it is a beautiful space. It's a very peaceful park.
Thank you.
I work at the health department one day a week, and a lot of our patrons for the health department go back there, have lunch. A lot of our staff do. It's a wonderful space, and I appreciate what the Friends of the Park do for that.
Thank you. We work hard. We've cleaned that space ourselves. So, any other
Commissioner
questions?
Douglas.
Yes, Mr. Douglas.
Yeah, I just want to say my brother's in a wheelchair and has been all his life, and I appreciate what you're doing. And I've been active with Rockdale Cares on that sort of thing, and this thing is really great. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Other
Thank
comments?
Any
Mr. Maddox.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you. Ms. Austin, I want to tell you publicly what I told you privately a little while ago, and even encourage the board. If you guys have not been to the event in, is it November, December?
December, first Sunday in December.
Put it on the calendar. It is an incredible event. Took the whole family, my brother, my nephew, my niece. We had just a wonderful, wonderful time. Charm, s'mores.
Yeah, we have
kids
hot
singing.
dogs, s'mores, popcorn, cider, hot chocolate.
I think my nephew unplugged every string of lights you guys had over there, so I apologize for that. But thank you for your efforts.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Thank you, Ms.
Thank
Austin.
you for
We
your time.
appreciate the work you do.
Thanks.
In your board books, page number 15, item 14 on the agenda from, I'm sorry, I'm skipping, from 10 to 14, item 13 from the Sheriff's Department. Honorable Sheriff Brown, yes. He has several agenda items to take care of tonight. We appreciate the Sheriff being here. First one will be on NAP care. Again, it's pages 10 through 14.
Mr. Chair, and those of you that make it the board, always an honor to come before you, particularly to talk about the success of the Newton County Sheriff's Office. The issue before hand tonight is the NAFCARE contract, and I'll be very brief and I'll expedite all of my words. I will say that NAFCARE has been the driving force of our success and there at the Newton County Sheriff's Office, and we would like to continue that relationship. NAFCARE has been very supportive of the Metro Jail Association that's dealing with mental health issues in jails, and I can say to Bill and his staff, they are the shining star around the metro area. As a matter of fact, have made Newton County Sheriff's Office as that beacon when it related to mental illness in facilities. So if there's any questions pertaining to the contract or services, I would ask that Bill or someone from his office will speak, and if any other related questions pertaining to detainees, then those questions be directed directly to Captain Banks.
Commissioners, do we have any questions? Commissioner Schultz.
First of all, I guess my question is for Mr. Middleton. We had requested, when we approved some previous contracts, that we have a purchasing policy that would identify what our policy would be on contracts that have not been rebid, or what our bidding or RFP process will be. Can you update us on where we are with that?
Yes, ma'am. Commissioner, we are in the process of finalizing that. There's just a couple of minor adjustments left to be done on that policy, and we did anticipate to have it come before y'all prior to the end of June.
Okay, so that will be before we vote on the budget?
It would be within that time frame, yes.
Okay. I guess what my concern is that in reviewing this particular contract, there is an increase of 3.9% in the contract. According to what it says, the last time that an RFP was issued was in 2006, and the only one on the board that's currently on the board that was here in 2006 was Mr. Henderson. And you know, I know that with a 3.9% increase, that doesn't sound like a whole lot, but to us trying to figure out a budget, that's over $44,000 that we're looking at. And so what I would like to do, if it's at all possible, is I would like to ask for us to have a work session sometime between now and the time that we approve our budget, so that we could get a real thorough understanding of the NAFCARE product and how, you know, what all is involved in providing the care, because most of us were not here when the original RFP was issued. So that would be my request, would be to table this for at this time, but make sure that we have voted on a contract before July 31st and put it in this timetable of doing this during our budget process.
Would you like to make that in the form of a motion?
Okay, so what I'd like to make a motion is that at the current time, we table until we approve our FY 2014 and budget, and no later than June 30th. That we have a work session in the meantime, no later than June 30th.
Okay, I got you. That will require a second. Do I hear a second? I'll be happy to schedule a work session. Motion is to table. Do I hear a second? Sorry, that dies for lack of a second.
Mr. Chairman, could I ask a question?
Sure.
What would that do, Sheriff, to your timeline?
On the timeline, what's the expiration of that contract?
Expiration of the contract is June the 30th of 2013.
Okay, June 30th. Now, we're within May as we stand today. We're still going to have services. The only thing it's going to do that we need to have this in place prior to June 30th so that we can continue the services with NAFCARE or at least be able to notify NAFCARE of their intentions as far as whether you're going to have them to move forward. But the state is that you said it increased by $40,000+ since 2006. Keeping in mind, Commissioner Shokes, that we house an average of 600+ inmates a day there at the facility. NAFCARE handles every piece of health care for those 600+ inmates. NAFCARE provide all of the vehicles that are required for us to achieve our accreditation, both on the correctional as well as the medical staff. So I think when you look at $44,000 increase over a 6-7 year term, and we're talking about, I think back then we were housing just a little less than 400 inmates, and today we're housing 600+. That's what we're looking at.
So we can't wait till June 30th because you're going to have some prep time in there, is that
right? This is something that I would ask that even if you were going to review it, I would ask that you would expedite it so that we could at least be gracious enough to notify NAFCARE in a 30-day time frame or whatever required of the contract.
So Mr. Chairman, if we were going to have a work session, we'd have to have that PDQ to get this done.
Exactly. We could have one in an off week, or we could do it in conjunction. I don't know if we could do it in conjunction with a budget hearing or not. We already have a scheduled work session coming up on the 21st, but we can check the calendar, and we could certainly make it happen ahead of time. Right. So we can.
You can piggyback it. It's a $1.8 million contract.
Okay.
You might want to piggyback it on the budget meeting.
Okay. If it's okay with y'all, we just may do a budget hearing, and that decreases a little family time issues that some of us have, and so we'll just.
So do you want me to amend the motion?
We can get us a brand new motion at this point. Okay. Commissioner, did you have a?
I have a comment. Since I'm the I guess since I am the senior commissioner on the board and have been a part of since NAFCARE first came here, and I just want to say this, and whatever we decide to do, as a whole, as a board, NAFCARE came in at a time when we were searching for somebody to really just to help the county when there would be something happen bad at jail to share the responsibility. If we had to pay somebody off a certain amount of money, NAFCARE came in and assumed that responsibility to help us and have served us very well over the years. And I understand that, these are tough economic times. But it just seemed to me it's hard for me to kind of put NAPCare through what we're going to put them through a budget process, especially since they've been very good to us, especially over the jail, and we have continued to grow. Our jail is full. I mean, people are sleeping on what we call boats in the jail. And so, I really believe that we need to, if anything, approve it and then come back and answer any question, hopefully the sheriff, that you have, and with the sheriff, but I think we need to approve it.
I have a comment. Thank you, Commissioner. Just a comment, and when you're talking about the $44,000, just on last year alone, if I'm not mistaken, is that right, Bill? We had an inmate where it was going to cost us several $100,000 just to house, and this was last year. We did not have the facility here to maintain that inmate, nor could we locate a facility nearby to locate as a matter of fact, to take care of all the medical needs of this inmate without having a 24-hour nurse, 24-hour deputy who would be there, and this is 24 hours a day. We had no time frame or no time limit as far as how long this inmate would be in our care. NAPCare found a location for us. They found a location for us. Once finding that location, and if I'm not mistaken, Bill, we spent less than $200,000, is that right?
Yes, sir.
We spent less than $200,000, saved ourselves several $100,000 just from the mere fact of working with NAPCare. And this is just one incident that I could think of, and you're talking about $40,000 over a 7-year period, and in 1 year, less than 6 months, there was a saving of over $500,000.
Commissioner?
I think that I certainly don't want to imply that I have any concerns about the care that you have provided up to this point. However, from our budget line item, this is almost $1.8 million, and I do believe that it's really important for us as a board to really thoroughly understand what we're getting for that $1.8 million, and then a $44,000 increase. I think it's important for us to do our due diligence and really know very thoroughly what the care is. And I'm just not sure we can do that in 15 minutes of asking questions. I really believe that it would be important for us to have a good work session so that you can provide that information to us. And I have no problem with that taking place in a timely manner so that we can get to a good budget decision.
Commissioners, let me just give you something to consider. I believe this is going to be a date when we're having a budget workshop. We don't have the calendar with us, but I believe it's May 13th. Actually would be a Monday night. We could piggyback those two items, work them out, and then, it is, okay. And we're going to be at Nelson Heights. Then we'll be able to vote June the 4th, Sheriff, if that's helpful. Would anybody like to make that motion, or you have another comment?
I have a comment, Mr. Chairman. Could we not vote May 21st?
Yes, we should be able to. Let's make sure that May 13th we have that work session.
Let's make sure.
And we'll have enough time to get it in by the Wednesday.
I don't mind. I don't mind having a work session. Obviously, I just want to make sure we give them enough time when we vote to get it done.
20th would be a Monday night. Okay. All right. We can either do the 13th, which is coming up right away, or we could do it on the 20th if we're having a work session that night already on the budget. What's your pleasure? Gentlemen, May 13th or May 20th? You have
I can be here Monday night, sure.
You can be here on Monday night?
Yes.
Okay.
Would
Also,
you like
just
to name the 13th?
Right. And just to point out something, I give you some accurate numbers. Over the past year, there was a discount. We saved almost $600,000 this past year, and those are accurate numbers.
This commissioner would prefer May 13th because we're going to have a long budget meeting May 20th and then a commission meeting May 21st. So,
Somebody like to make that in form of a motion? Commissioner Schultz.
I would make the motion that we schedule a work session for May 13th for NAFCARE to present to us, and then that we vote on it on May 21st at our regular board meeting.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? Commissioner.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. I just want to make just a quick comment. So it just, sometimes you just want to just kind of say what's on your mind. Is that over the past 4 now 5 years, Sheriff Brown has worked hard, even in a budget that where we cut all the fat out and half of the lean, and he still came back and had operational budget over to the Sheriff Department. And we have always tried, at least I have, tried to look at and understand that he is working for what's best for the citizens in Newton County, especially for the people whom he represents, which is all of Newton County. And he have never brought anything to this board, and whereas he didn't know that it was good for the citizens of Newton County. And I think this is no less than any other time that he come before the Board of Commissioners. And it just seemed to me, it's just a little bit sad, because I've been here for a while. This is my 17th year, and we all know it could be the last year or two. But what I want to say is that never in the history of a sheriff in Newton County who have came to the Board of Commissioners and made a recommendation to continue a service that was good for Newton County that we turned down. And so I just want to just lay it out.
Further discussion?
this is not a motion, but just a suggestion that on the 13th, we start a little earlier so we're not there all night doing this and the budget. If we could start
This point very well taken.
12:30 in the afternoon would be fine with me, Mr. Chairman.
Well, I don't know about that, but it'll be lunch.
6 or 6:30, something like that.
We'll try to at least start by 6:30 if the folks are available. I think the motion on the floor then is May the 13th for a work session in conjunction with a budget hearing, and that'll be held at Nelson Heights. And let's say 6:30 would be the time. That is the motion and the second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Wait a minute, I better count that. I'm sorry. All right, let's go back again. Okay, let's do it one more time to be sure. All in favor? Okay, motion carries.
Just for clarity, you're asking to be at Nelson Heights?
Nelson Heights, we're rotating our budget hearings around the county. And Nelson Heights is our next scheduled place, Nelson Heights Community Center. And Commissioner Henderson will be hosting that night. And we'll be starting at 6:30. And we'll do NAPCARE first. Yes, absolutely. We'll do NAPCARE first.
All right. Also, would you like to have an overview of the services that is that what you're requesting? Okay. Thank you.
If you could email it, deliver it to us, however how you want to try to do it, if you want to do it in advance so that everybody can have an opportunity to review it. Anything else, Commissioners? Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Sheriff, you're on for the COPS hiring grant. This is page 15 in your board book, number 14 on your agenda. Page 15, the COPS hiring grant. Sheriff? And April.
Mr. Chair, this is very simple. Again, the issue before you tonight is the COPS hiring grant. And I'll let April walk through this, but just to say that we have been fortunate over the last couple of years to receive the grant. And as a matter of fact, this past year we received almost $1 million on the Sheriff's Office in the state of Georgia to receive this prestigious award, and just a few in the nation to receive it, and we were one of 3 the year before to receive this award, and 30 in the nation to receive it. So I will let Ms. Jones go through the particulars.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So we're going to request your support to apply for the COPS Grant 2013, and it's very similar to last year. You open the application and they tell you what you're eligible to apply for. So this year, we're eligible to apply for 7 positions, and they will fund those positions' salary and benefits for 3 years, and we must retain them for the 4th year. So they'll give us salary and benefits for 36 months, and we have to retain them for 12 months. There's a 25% match, so the numbers are very similar to last year, so I would say that our grant award would be a little bit over $900,000, and the match would be right at $160,000. Are there any questions?
Seems to be housekeeping. Chair would entertain a motion. Got a motion and a second. All in favor? That motion is carried. Item number 15 is page 16 in your book. This looks like a General Mills grant. This is also a housekeeping.
That's correct. The General Mills grant is a local grant. We apply for it every year. This is our 4th year applying, and hopefully we'll be awarded some funds again. They determine the amount based on our need and based on their budget. And we usually use these funds to support the CHAMPS program and our Explorer program.
Chair will entertain a motion. Motion and a second. All in favor? That one also. And finally, item number 16 on your agenda, that's found in your board book on pages 17 through 19. This is a SCAP grant.
That's correct. We apply for the SCAP grant every year again, and those funds are given to us based on housing undocumented illegal aliens. So we have funds remaining in our account from 2011 and 2012, and we're requesting to do a contract with Melissa Tice. Again, last year she taught offender responsibility classes to our inmates, and we're asking that she do the same this year. So we're hoping that she can begin facilitating those classes beginning next month, and we'll go through the end of year, December of this year. Are there any questions? SCAP is State Criminal Alien Assistance Program, and that is a grant through the Department of Justice, and you apply to receive funds for housing undocumented illegal aliens. You apply every year to get funds for housing undocumented aliens. And so we have so many in our center, and they ask for so much information, and based on the information that we share with them, they will determine how much they give us. So for the last 4 years, we've been receiving a grant award from them. That is correct.
Chair will entertain a motion. Motion and a second to, I guess this is an approval of the SCAP grant. Any discussion? Certainly, go right ahead, Commissioner.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd just like to thank Ms. April Jones and Sheriff Brown for going above and beyond. And I've said it before earlier, and I said it once again, in a tight budget situation that we're in, it never ceases to amaze me that you go out and find monies, or try and find monies, to kind of just make our sheriff's department look really good.
Thank you.
And I'd like to just make a comment. Ms. Tice is here tonight just to share with you the number of graduates that we had. We had less than 8 months. We graduated 203. And we had a very, very successful program. We, out of that 203, the percentage, we had a little less than 7%. A little less than 7% of those individuals reoffended. 16 out of that 203 reoffended. So I think a successful program, and if we continue to travel this path here, perhaps we will be at a perhaps 80% back in the community. But as it stands right today, out of that 203, 120 of them, that's right at 59, almost 60% of them is back into the community and have not reoffended, and 40% of them are still incarcerated, and most likely they are in state custody. What happens is, even though they are there at the facility awaiting to be transported to respective locations in the state, we will still provide those programs to those state inmates. And even some of this 100 plus that's on the streets today, they went into state custody, but yet and still they are back on the streets and they have not reoffended. So I think it's a successful program.
We congratulate you on this program, by the way, Ms. Tice.
Thank you.
Further discussion? Let's move on to vote. This is to approve an independent contract agreement with Melissa Tice for the SCAP grant. All in favor? That motion? That motion still carries. That's 4, so yes. Certainly, add a comment.
This comment, it doesn't tend to exactly what we're talking about tonight, but I just want to thank the Sheriff Department. Last week I had an incident on our family property. We own about 100 acres out of Smith's store, and I had some theft. And I was able to get in touch with Newton County Sheriff Department, and they got some investigators out there pretty quickly, assessed the situation, and was actually able to capture the thief that day, which just blew my mind how fast, how professional that your staff is. I want to definitely thank Mr. Tony Howard, the other investigators that were there, the crime suppression team, very professional, very quick, and I just want to say thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Certainly. Go ahead, Commissioner.
Certainly part of those efforts, Sheriff, my comment is on the last motion. Does it have to have a not to exceed?
We can, is that an hour? We can certainly put that cap on it if we could amend that motion. Who made that? I'm sorry, I don't remember who made that motion. Okay. Good. Okay.
It's built in the contract.
Total compensation should not exceed $6,272.
Thank you, Mr. County Manager. Always, as always, very efficient.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Getting close, ladies and gentlemen. Fellow Commissioners, item number 17 is a little different from what you've been used to. We're not going to quote all the checks. You've actually seen and been handed a check register previously. We've seen the finance report. I would appreciate if you would allow us to begin this transition to paperless by allowing us to give you these provided check registers in the future, if we can electronically. But you've already seen those, and so if we could just approve the finance statement, I think that takes care of the checks. Is that okay? Thank you very much. We want to make sure we're lawful and legal. So the chair will entertain a motion to approve the financial statements. How about that? Got a motion and a second. All in favor? That was certainly painless. Thank you. That was a motion carried. Commissioner comments? Commissioner Douglas.
Tonight, Mr. Chairman, I want to salute another crown jewel in Newton County, and the first, and maybe, I think it goes over into the 5th District, is Burt Adams Boy Scout Reservation. I had the privilege of going to a scout breakfast the other morning to hear some of their plans, but Burt Adams will be cranking up again here in a few weeks. I have some numbers here. Burt Adams and another Camp Woodruff host, this is just from the Atlanta Area Council, 7,139 Boy Scouts last year attended Burt Adams and Camp Woodruff. And that does not include 1,692 Cub Scouts who attended Burt Adams, who were in residence at Burt Adams. This is a very important operation that we have here in Newton County. Obviously, the Boy Scouts are a wonderful, upstanding, moral organization that's been under attack here recently, but so far they've held their ground, which I admire greatly. So I'm just very, very proud to have Burt Adams in the 1st District, the great majority of it in the 1st District, and in Newton County.
Others? Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to just give a plug out to the residents of District 4, and as we look at the budget session that we're going to do, and along with, looking at NAPCare, we just want to just invite all do I have 20,000 constituents? Maybe a couple of hundred to come on out over to Nelson Hike and just sit in and hopefully we'll do what we had said we were going to do at the very beginning, and then give the citizens time to make comments.
One mention, I believe there was a bridge dedicated without any fanfare this week to Pierce Klein, Interstate I-20, Interstate 20, and Highway 11. I know that Commissioner Douglas pointed out that there had been a dedication. I rode by and saw the sign. Those of us who had the opportunity to know Mr. Pierce Klein knows that he's probably smiling somewhere upstairs. So, do we need any executive session tonight? Anybody else know of any reason?
Let me just mention that was done by our state rep, Doug Holt, in Atlanta.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you mentioning that. Folks, we're going to beat that 9 o'clock hour.
You said 8:30 earlier.
I said 8:30, but look, I'll take 9. Need a motion to adjourn. Got a motion? Second. All in favor? Thank you very much.